Well, hello everyone, Dylan here. Happy Throwback Thursday, and the rotation leads us to another Star Wars review, and this one's on the V-Wing Fighter and General Grievous' wheelbike from 2014, of course. And since I don't have the box and instructions for this one, we'll start on with the minifigs. So first off, for the minifigs is a V-Wing pilot, of course, which, as you see, the torso printing quite good for how it is, and kind of similar to most other clone pilots, and not only leg printing, but that's alright. And also, interesting thing is this helmet piece, which is also same with the face printing, and this, which just about like the 2010 pilots, which was 2014, although the year prior, the Z95 Headhunter did use an all-new piece for that, so not sure why they couldn't have included an all-new helmet piece for that, but whatever. Maybe since one good guess I have is, since this was a V-Wing set, they maybe just weren't ready for a new head or helmet piece at the time, or just whatever that is. And then on the back side, which some quite nice back torso printing as well, and not only back face printing, but yeah, and that's about it there. And now onto this astromech droid, of which the torso printing quite similar to to R2-D2 and most other astromech droids that there are, and also the head dome piece also molded in dark red, and the printing's all done quite well on it, and also good back printing on all around it, and no back torso printing as well, even though the 2023 R2-D2 got in there, but yeah. And that's about it with this one. And now onto the minifigs included with General Grievous' wheelbike, starting out with Obi-Wan Kenobi, of which the later Episode 3 version, and instead of wielding a lightsaber, instead is this electro staff, which he has in this sequence in the movie, and with the two of the diamond pieces in pink, which need to get in that color and useful for mocking, and of course, and also wielding the blaster that he'll eventually use to shoot down General Grievous. But yeah, but however, the torso leg printing, all quite good for how it is, and also the hairpiece kind of similar to like most Clone Wars versions, and however, the face printing done quite well for how it is. And then here's from the back side of which, with some quite good back torso printing, and also a more aggressive double-sided face, well fitting to him in this sequence. And that's about it with Obi-Wan. And lastly is General Grievous himself, which, as you see that this whole figure, which quite about the same as it introduced in 2010, but now in this white coloring, suiting to that of Revenge of the Sith, of course. And also this white variant did also come in a couple other sets, like both 2018 and 20. Even though one of which was also Clone Wars, but not sure why, but whatever. And he, of course, wielding the 2 blue and 2 green lightsabers as fitting to him. And aside from that, all looking quite good for how he is, but yeah. And that is it with all the minifigs of this set, or these 2 sets. Now, on to the sets. Now, first up for the sets, the V-Wing Starfighter itself, which, as you can see, which is kind of similar to some of the previous A-Wings, well, mostly the 2011 Imperial one, but this was in the proper coloring of it. But also, the little thing that I am to note is that with this, I have kind of dropped it and lost a few pieces of it, so sorry about missing a few pieces, but yeah. But aside from that, still a-okay for how it is, but yeah. And now on to some of the features, or looks of it. First off, for the upper nosing kind of part, made a few wedge plates and these large wedge curved slopes, but with a lot of stickers on it. But also there's a lot of stickers in this set for how it is. And then A little further upwards, have these canopy cockpit area, which just about like the previous versions, or like the Imperial one, where you can like flip it open and then have this kind of long control panel, of which made a few stickers and also a pair of studs to sit your pilot minifig into, and you can recline back and then closes over him like so. And aside from that, fits in quite well. And then up here, if you wonder what that little turning kind of bit to it is, like every other V-Wing set, you have to take off the astromech droid headpiece and put it on there, or just plop it onto there. So obviously, they still, at this point, never been able to figure out how to add in, how to have in a slot for the astromech droid, but yeah. But it's now onto the wings kind of builds to it. Obviously, built quite well using the like wedge plates on the sides, and also, it's kind of strange thing is this rounded tile with a red sticker on it. All I think should have been better in like all red for how it is. It's kind of odd how that is, but whatever. And obviously using a pair of jagged slopes underneath to be the back wing parts, and also on both sides is I tend to have like about all four, around a total of 4 of the flip fire missiles acting as the main blasters of it, and then also a couple of tail wing parts above, but also do have a little tile piece with a Republic symbol on there, like we also saw in most other previous sets. And if you notice the gear kind of part to it, and also this kind of hanging bracket, which should have a couple pieces to be the engine of it. And that's about it there. And now to one of the features of it is if you turn those black gears there, which, although despite not having anything on the opposite side, so at least the rest of which is of course symmetrical, which I oftentimes like. And if you turn on that black gear of which, let's see. If you turn on that, and makes the wings come right off for that. Also like the other versions, and also have a little ratchet joint plate that you can stick up, and it's the retracted landing gear in it. And it's in its flight mode, of course. And also down below are a couple of bricks holding the spring-loaded launchers into it. And of course, this year, 2014, first time recognized. First time of there ever being those, but yeah. And they, of course, were used in so many sets after this, but yeah. And that's about it with the V-Wing here. And now for a little comparison with the first version of the V-Wing, of which the 2006 version, as you can see, the shaping and everything looking just about quite similar to it, and also, and of course has curved slopes on it, and this one not at all any sloping. And for like the wing assemblies, this one kind of swivels right upwards, but these ones are just fixed in place. And also this does have the older style canopy cockpit area kind of piece, when this one has a different kind of one. This you can come open, and this one you just gotta detach off. And also the astromech droid that there is one you can detach it, it's a whole minifig, but this one just dug onto there. But also the upper flaps, these ones are a lot smaller than these ones. Although I think these ones could have been as large as well. Yeah. And of course, both of which tend to have large engine assemblies to it. Well, and of course, since at this time, this one is when all the sets at this time were starting to align with the modern line of Star Wars sets. But luckily, but of course, kind of close to that, but yeah. But maybe if there, and hopefully if there gets to be another version of it, I expect it to be a little better than both of these. And that is it with the V-Wing set. And now, General Grievous's speeder bike, or wheel bike. And now, on to General Grievous's wheel bike, which obviously major upgrade from the original 2005 version of it, which instead of like the dish piece added to it, instead it's a clear Technic wheel in there and also greebling all over it. So obviously a major upgrade from that, and also better pieces to it, of course. Whereas that original 2005 version was obviously a small $20 kind of version, and this which was around 30 or so, or 35 at its time. But yeah, and it's now on to how it is. So first off, for the feet part of the legs, is as he does have these little blade-like pieces that we probably saw in Ninjago sets from the time, and also the rest of the legs, which are comprised mostly of these Technic beams, and also plates that are holding these helicopter blade kind of pieces, just as extra detailing, and sand blue Chislo acting as like probably extra greebles. Although the original 2005 version did have Barnacle Toamata arms acting as the legs, but however this which is multiple pieces, and that of which was just one. So obviously, and again, major improvement there, and connected on to the Barnacle / Hero Factory style Ordica heads and the CCBS Technic connectors that there were. So obviously they were much better reinforced versions, and for the posability of the legs is really good for how they are. And onto this one upper section, which quite a whole lot, few pieces going on for that, and a couple of barrels over there, and also a couple different vent pieces on there, and a sand blue wedge plate on there. And also this little rod here where you can tap on and launches off the flip fire missile. Although not sure why a flip fire missile was chosen for this set. Although I think a sprinkler launcher could have done better. Well, maybe that would be for a remake version of this set, but yeah. And also, as for this main wheel part, which as I already said, that there was two large dish pieces with printings on them for the original 2005 version, but however this switch does have a clear Technic wheel piece, which we saw on the Forno Bike and Speed of Demons in Hero Factory, but however which has, instead of tires, of this repeat assembly of these car hood pieces and metallic grill pieces all around, and clips as well. And how as well as it roll, well, I'll show that later. But although it's kind of a pain making this same piece a whole lot, but kind of how it works. But yeah. And now onto the other side of it, which is kind of the seating area for him, which, as you can see, does have a little bit of a little seat kind of part, and also these also a clip piece on there with this other part to it with a trans pink flat stud there with a little print to it to be sort of extra buttons to it. And these two studs is where you are to sit General Grievous onto, of course. Or you can just have him sit right down onto there. Let's see here. Yeah, just about like that. And does fit in quite well right there. And luckily, the arm or one of his arms doesn't seem to get in the way of the wheel when you're rolling it. And then has the back part, which a couple other Technic rods and beams sticking out there, and a couple of curved slopes, acting as a play handle to it, just about like we had with the 2015 Hailfire droid. And so now on to the main feature. So the main feature of it is you take the legs or the feet, fold them in on all four of them, and swivel them right upwards. Hold this handle apart, and then roll right around. And, oh whoops, although Grievous can kind of fall off of that sometimes, a little annoying, but actually if you attach it on well. But however, the rolling of it, great. Although it does get kind of jiggly at times, but however, this Switch almost as smooth as the 2005 version. And also just about great for that. But yeah. And that's about it with the Grievous's wheelbike. And that's about it there. And so now my overall verdict on these two sets. I think they which are really good or great, really good sets for how they are. Well, like the V-Wing, little A-OK for how it is. Well, maybe if they're for yet another remake of it, I think it hopefully gets to be a little better than this one. But whereas General Grievous's wheelbike, I say great for how it is, like the rolling ability of it, and also the good minifig selection for that. Great for how it is. But although what's missing is the Boga, which the original 2005 version kind of did. But maybe if there gets to be a remake version of this, I think it hopefully can be included in that, just with like the brick build or whatever. And although it maybe an extra 212 Trooper and maybe 212 Trooper and Battle Droid, which also could have been included in that. So maybe that would be for a remake of it, but yeah. But however, for both sets, which for 20 for the V-Wing and 30 for General Grievous's wheelbike, quite good for how they are, or good prices at back in the day. But however, well, and with inflation now, still kind of worth it. But however, General Grievous's wheelbike, major improvement over the 2005 version once again. Like, obviously, it does have a lot more pieces to work around for it, and whereas the V-Wing also kind of does. As well, for... And also... And of course, Lego not be very good at making V-Wing sets. Well, hopefully with another version of it could get on that, but yeah. And what else to say? Not much, but yeah. Although they which did have plenty of alright minifig selections, like good cheap way to get General Grievous, and of course this version Obi-Wan Kenobi, but yeah. And what else to say? Not much, but yeah. And so now, if any of you still have these sets from back in the day, well, I hope you had some good memories of them. And for those of you who haven't and are still looking to get these sets, I'd say definitely pick them up. eBay, Bricklink, Bricari, Bricks and Minifigs, whatever. And that's it with this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.